All right, so today we're going to dive into something super practical.
Okay.
How to totally nail a business analyst interview.
Nice.
We're not just talking about having like canned answers,
Yeah.
but really understanding what those interviewers are looking for and how to show off,
Right.
what makes you, you.
Yeah. I think it's about being so prepared that you can actually enjoy the conversation.
Exactly.
And let your expertise shine through.
Yeah. And we have a fantastic resource to help us out with this RoleCatcher. It's a platform that's really designed to guide you through your whole career journey.
Mm-hmm.
But today we're going to be laser focused on prepping for a business analyst interview.
Okay, think of this as your secret weapon, giving you insights you won't find just browsing the web.
Before we get to the, those killer questions, I was struck by something in the RoleCatcher Career Guide.
Yeah.
It's easy to think of business analysts as just, number crunching spreadsheet wizards.
Uh-huh.
But it's so much more than that.
Absolutely. They're strategic thinkers, problem solvers.
Yeah.
The bridge between those technical details and those big business decisions.
Yeah.
They need to be able to gather information from all sorts of sources, analyze it, and then present those findings in a way that everyone understands.
Well,
it's a highly collaborative role.
So communication skills are just as important as technical skills.
Without a doubt, the RoleCatcher Guide really emphasized that being able to translate that complex data into actionable insights is crucial.
Yeah.
You might be presenting to executives, working with developers, gathering requirements from end users, all very different audiences.
Okay, so now that we've got a better sense of what the role actually entails, let's tackle those interview questions.
Yes.
RoleCatcher has provided us with 10 common ones.
Yeah, okay.
And for each, we'll break down what the interviewer is really getting at and the best way to approach your answer.
Sounds good. We'll even give you a snippet of a sample response to get your brain going.
Okay, so question number 1, and it's a classic.
Yeah.
Can you walk me through your experience with requirements gathering and analysis?
All right, so this is where you demonstrate your structured approach, your recipe for success.
Yeah.
They're not just looking for a list of projects you've worked on, but how you actually go about gathering that information.
Right.
Who you involve and what tools or techniques you use.
So it's about painting a picture of your process, for example.
Right.
Could you start by saying something like,
Sure.
In my previous role, I was responsible for gathering requirements for a new customer relationship management system.
Okay.
My first step was to...
Perfect. Then you could talk about how you conducted stakeholder interviews, facilitated workshops, or used specific tools like Jira to document and track those requirements.
For those who don't know, Jira is a popular project management software.
Yes.
That helps teams plan, track, and release software.
Right. And mentioning tools like that shows that you're familiar with industry standards. But don't forget to highlight the why behind your actions.
Okay.
Did you involve certain stakeholders to ensure that their needs were met?
Right.
Did you choose a specific technique because it was the most effective for that particular project?
And I imagine they'll be listening for how you analyze that gathered information. It's one thing to collect a bunch of requirements, but what did you do with them?
Exactly. Did you prioritize them based on business value?
Yeah.
Did you identify any conflicting requirements?
Right.
Did you create user stories or use cases to clearly define the desired functionality?
Okay.
This is where you showcase your analytical skills.
And a potential follow-up question here could be, tell me about a time when a stakeholder's requirements conflicted with the project's overall goals.
Okay.
How did you handle that situation?
That's a great example of a follow-up question.
Right.
They're looking to see how you handle conflict, negotiate, and find solutions that satisfy everyone involved.
Right.
Remember, it's not just about the technical aspects. It's about those soft skills, too.
Okay. On to question number 2. And this one's all about staying on track. How do you ensure that a project stays on time and within budget?
Yeah.
I feel like this is a potential minefield because there are so many things that can go wrong.
It is a challenging question, but it's also a chance to highlight your project management skills and demonstrate that you can be trusted to deliver.
Right.
Again, it's not about just saying, I'm super organized. It's about showcasing your process.
So can I start by saying, my approach to project management involves...
Exactly.
And then outline the key steps you take to ensure a project stays on track.
You might mention that you create realistic timelines, break down large projects into smaller tasks.
Yeah.
Use project management software to track progress.
Okay.
Hold regular status meetings, and have a process for managing risks.
Right.
And addressing any issues that arise.
And speaking of risks, it's always good to have a story ready, about a time when a project went off the rails and how you got it back on course.
Absolutely. Everyone loves a good comeback story.
Yeah?
And it demonstrates your problem-solving skills and resilience.
All right, let's move on to question number 3, which focuses on a very important skill for any business analyst.
Okay.
How do you prioritize competing demands and manage stakeholder expectations? This feels very soft skills heavy.
It absolutely is. They want to see how you handle pressure, navigate conflicting priorities,
Yeah.
and maintain positive relationships even when things get tricky.
So I need to be prepared to talk about a time when I had to say no to someone or when I had to negotiate a compromise.
Exactly. Think of specific examples where you had to balance competing demands.
Right.
Maybe even involving stakeholders with different priorities. How did you ensure that everyone felt heard
Yeah.
and that the project still moved forward effectively?
And maybe a time I had to reset expectations or deliver tough news to a stakeholder.
Perfect. That shows that you can handle difficult conversations and manage expectations effectively.
Okay.
It's about finding that balance between meeting project needs and maintaining strong relationships.
Okay, on to question number 4. Can you give an example of a time when you identified a process improvement opportunity
Okay.
and implemented a solution? This feels like a chance to highlight problem-solving skills and initiative.
Absolutely. Choose an example that showcases your analytical skills,
Yeah.
your ability to see the bigger picture,
Oh.
and your willingness to take ownership and drive positive change.
So I should explain how I recognized the problem, analyzed the situation,
Uh-huh.
came up with a solution, and then crucially implemented it.
Mhm.
And of course, I'll quantify the results.
You got it. Don't just describe the problem, but really walk them through your thought process.
Okay.
What data did you analyze? Who did you consult with?
Right.
What were the potential roadblocks and how did you overcome them?
And a possible follow-up question here could be, what were some of the challenges you faced when implementing this solution?
Mm-hmm.
And how did you address them?
That's a great point. They want to see that you can anticipate challenges, think critically, and find creative solutions.
Okay, we've covered 4 questions so far.
Yeah.
You've given some great tips on how to approach them,
Yes.
highlighting the importance of process storytelling, quantifying results,
Uh-huh.
and showcasing those all-important soft skills.
Yes.
Before we jump into the next set, is there anything else we should keep in mind?
Yes. Remember that preparation is key.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's AI tools can actually analyze job descriptions and provide personalized feedback on your answers,
Oh, wow.
which is a game changer.
Okay.
But we'll dive into that more later.
Yeah.
For now, just keep in mind that the more you practice, the more confident you'll be in the actual interview.
That's great advice. Now let's move on to the next batch of questions up next.
Okay.
We'll tackle questions 5 through 7, where we'll get even deeper into the world of business analyst interviews
Sounds good.
and the skills that matter most.
All right, ready to tackle question number 5.
Okay.
This one asks, how do you ensure that project requirements are met while still maintaining flexibility for changing priorities? It's a real balancing act that business analysts face all the time.
It sounds like they're looking for someone who can adapt to those inevitable curveballs
Yeah,
without losing sight of the end goal.
exactly. Projects rarely go exactly according to plan.
Right.
So being able to adjust to new information or shifting priorities while still delivering on those core objectives is crucial.
So how do I demonstrate that I can handle that?
Okay.
Is it about having a system for managing those change requests or being able to reprioritize tasks effectively?
It's a bit of both, and also about setting realistic expectations from the start.
Okay.
You could talk about how you use a change management process to evaluate the impact of new requests,
Okay.
how you communicate changes to stakeholders,
Yeah.
and how you adjust timelines and resources as needed.
Okay.
But it's also about that proactive communication, making it clear that things might shift,
Right.
but you have a process for handling it.
So instead of promising the moon and then scrambling when things change, it's about building that trust and transparency from the get-go.
Precisely. And when you do encounter those inevitable changes, how do you handle them?
Right.
Maybe you had to rescope a project due to budget cuts or a new technology emerged that required a shift in strategy.
Yeah.
Share a story that highlights your ability to be flexible without compromising on quality.
And a potential follow-up question here could be, tell me about a time you had to push back on a stakeholder's request for a change.
Okay.
How did you approach that conversation?
That's a great one. It gets at your ability to negotiate, to stand your ground when necessary,
Yeah.
and to advocate for the best interests of the project while maintaining those key relationships.
Okay, on to question number 6, and this one focuses on data.
All right.
Can you describe your experience with data analysis and visualization, bring on the spreadsheets.
While spreadsheets are certainly part of the toolkit,
Yeah.
they're really looking for a broader understanding of how you approach data. What tools and techniques are you familiar with?
Uh-huh.
How do you clean and analyze data to extract those valuable insights?
Right.
And crucially, how do you communicate those findings in a way that drives action?
So mentioning tools like SQL for querying databases, Python for more complex analysis,
Uh-huh.
or data visualization tools like Tableau would be helpful.
Absolutely. And it's not just about listing tools.
Right.
Imagine you're talking about a project where you had to analyze customer data to identify trends in purchasing behavior.
Okay.
You could say something like, using SQL, I was able to extract relevant sales data from our database.
Okay.
Then I used Tableau to create visualizations that highlighted key customer segments in their purchasing patterns.
That paints a much clearer picture than just name-dropping software.
Right.
It shows you actually know how to use these tools to solve real business problems.
Right. And don't forget about those data storytelling skills.
Okay.
A potential follow-up question here could be, tell me about a time you had to present complex data findings to a non-technical audience. How did you ensure they understood the key takeaways and the implications for the business?
It's about making that data come alive, right?
Yeah.
Using charts, graphs, dashboards, whatever, helps tell a compelling story and drive those decisions.
Exactly. Data visualization is a powerful tool in the business analyst's arsenal.
Okay, question number 7 is about a methodology that seems to be everywhere these days.
Go.
Can you explain your experience with agile methodologies? I'll admit, I'm still wrapping my head around all the terminology.
Agile is more than just buzzwords. It's a
Yeah.
fundamentally different way of approaching project management.
Okay.
It's about iterative development, continuous feedback, and close collaboration. They're looking to see if you can thrive in a fast-paced environment where things can change quickly.
So it's not about memorizing a bunch of agile terms.
Hmm.
It's about demonstrating that I understand the core principles
Exactly.
and how to apply them in real-world scenarios.
Think about specific projects where you worked in an agile environment. Maybe you were part of a Scrum team, using tools like Jira to manage sprints and track progress.
Okay.
Or perhaps you facilitated daily stand-up meetings to keep everyone in sync.
And for those who aren't familiar, a Scrum team is a small, self-organizing team
Yes.
that works in short focused bursts called sprints.
Right. And Jira, which we mentioned earlier, is often used to manage those sprints and track tasks. But again, it's about showcasing how you applied those agile principles to achieve results.
Okay.
Did you adapt to changing requirements effectively?
Right.
Did you contribute to a collaborative team environment? Did you deliver value incrementally?
A possible follow-up question here could be, what are some of the challenges you've encountered while working in an agile environment,
Okay.
and how did you overcome them?
That's a great one. They want to see that you understand the potential pitfalls of agile
Yeah.
and have strategies for navigating them.
Okay. We've covered 7 questions so far, and I'm already feeling much more prepared for a business analyst interview. But before we move on to the final few, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, RoleCatcher's AI tools.
Right. We've talked about how to approach these interview questions. But what if you could get personalized feedback to refine your answers even further?
Yeah.
That's where RoleCatcher's AI can really make a difference.
I'm intrigued. Let's dive into that world of AI-powered interview prep in the next segment.
So we've talked about what business analysts do and how to nail those common interview questions.
Right, and all those tricky little, soft skill questions, too.
You know. But RoleCatcher offers more than just information. They bring in the power of AI
Yes.
to personalize your prep.
Yeah. Their AI-powered tools sound almost futuristic.
Yeah.
I'm especially curious about their CD and cover letter builder.
Okay.
It claims to tailor your materials to specific job descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
How does that actually work?
It's like having a personal career coach analyzing each job you apply for.
Wow.
The AI digs into the keywords and skills that are emphasized in that description, then suggests ways to optimize your CV and cover letter
Yeah.
to make sure those strengths really shine through.
That's amazing. It takes so much time to rewrite everything
Yes,
for every single application.
it does.
Having AI assistance could be a huge time saver and potentially increase your chances of getting noticed.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher's AI goes beyond just sprucing up your application.
Okay.
It can actually help you prepare for those tricky behavioral interview questions.
You mean the ones where they're trying to gauge how you handle real-world situations
Yes.
and demonstrate all those soft skills?
Precisely. Imagine this. You input your answers to common interview questions,
Okay.
and the AI gives you feedback on your delivery, the content of your response, even your tone.
Wow, that's like having a mock interview with an expert
Yeah.
who can pinpoint areas for improvement without the pressure of being in the actual interview.
Right.
Especially helpful for people who get nervous or aren't sure how to sell themselves.
It really levels the playing field, gives you that extra edge. And don't forget about the video practice feature.
Oh, rough.
You record yourself answering questions.
Okay.
Then get AI-driven feedback on your body language, your eye contact, that whole nonverbal communication piece
Yeah.
that can make or break an interview.
That's a game changer. I know so many brilliant people who freeze up in interviews
Yeah.
or don't realize how their body language is being perceived.
Right.
Having AI feedback to refine that presentation could make a huge difference.
Absolutely. It's about taking your prep beyond just knowing the answers
Yes.
to really performing well in that high-pressure situation.
Okay, so we've gone from the big picture of the business analyst role to dissecting specific interview questions,
Right.
to exploring how AI can personalize your prep.
Yes.
I feel like anyone listening to this deep dive will walk away with a serious advantage in their job search.
I agree, but remember the most important factor is still you.
Right.
Your passion, your unique experience, and your desire to learn.
Mhm.
Those are the qualities that will truly make you stand out.
That's such an important reminder. These tools and resources are fantastic,
They are.
but they're meant to enhance your natural strengths, not replace them.
Exactly.
Let your genuine enthusiasm shine through, and that's what will leave a lasting impression.
Absolutely. And you don't have to navigate this alone.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher offers tons of free resources, their career guide sample, interview questions, blog posts.
Mhm.
Head over to their website and explore.
And if you're ready to take your prep to that next level, their Copilot AI might just be the game changer you need to land your dream business analyst role. Good luck out there.